Hey guys, it's Cher, and I just got done watching the latest episode of Black Lightning, and usually I wait until the morning to film my video, but this episode was just so crazy and intense within the last like 15 minutes of the episode. I felt like I had to talk about it right away. Like, I haven't even rewatched the episode. I've watched it once, and I'm thinking if this video goes well, then I'll just post this one, but I will rewatch the episode in the morning if I'm lucky, and I'll refilm it, and I'll see which one's better, and then I'll post either one. So, with that being said, if the lighting looks different, I think there's a glare back here on my little picture. If it looks crazy, then I'm just gonna not post this one, and I'll just do another one in the morning. But for now, let's just get right into the video. This episode was crazy. Like, and the thing is, this episode was very chill, and I still stand by episode 6 being my favorite episode, but this came real close to being like a second episode, a second favorite episode, because so much happened in like the last 15 minutes. So if you have not watched the episode, please go watch it now on TV or on the CW app or online, and then come back and watch my video. And if you've already watched the episode, let's talk about that last 15 minutes, shall we? And I know this is a little different than what I usually do, but I really feel the need to just talk about the ending. Let's go straight into it. Lala was resurrected, like he is alive. He woke up in a hotel bed, gasping for air, wondering what the hell is going on. And then he sees the woman that he killed, and she says, "Do you believe in the resurrection?" She turns into like sand, spirit air, and flies into his chest, and suddenly there's a tattoo of her on his chest. What does that even mean? What does that mean? What type of magic is going along in Freeland? Like, it makes me question everything, because I'm like, what does this have something to do with? Because I'm like trying to like connect it. I'm like, what does this have to do with Black Lightning? What does this have to do with Tobias? What does this have to do with Toledo? What does this have to do with Lady Eve? What does this have to do with Greenlight? Because it's like, where the hell did this come from? From what I know, the only people who have magic in Freeland are the Pierce family, like Black Lightning and Thunder, and the idea that this woman who died so many episodes ago could still be alive somehow in the t-shirt that she was shot in, turn into spirit air, and suck herself into a man that's been dead for ages, blows my entire mind. Like, where is Black Lightning going? Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on with this? I have so many questions. Tobias decided that he wanted to kill Lady Eve. Well, mostly his sister did. And Tobias said something along the lines of, I can't remember what exactly it was called, and I feel terrible because I don't remember, but he said something along the lines of, if I kill Lady Eve without the permission of the Brotherhood, I might as well just die too. And I was like, okay, so it was a board, like a brother board or a mother board or something like that. He was like, if I don't get permission from them, I might as well just kill myself too, because like I can't do anything without their permission, which also proves that Lady Eve also wasn't the top gun. Like, she wasn't the top bad guy. Like, they both still answered to someone else. So it went like the board, then it went Lady Eve, and then it's Tobias, and at least that's all we know right now. That's all we see. So, who is this board? And do we know anyone on the board? Oh, and then I also learned the Angel of Death's name. Her name is Cyanide, which is a chemical. And that is like Tobias's like #1 henchman, while Toledo was his right hand. So, we learned a little bit more about them, and we also learned a lot more about Gamby, because Gamby is still a shady bastard. Like I said, I've been saying it for a long time now, and I'm really gonna like run that into everyone's head that I said it first. No one else said it. I did. Hello. And I don't know what this means. So we find out more about Gamby. He goes to Lady Eve personally, and it's like, you can tell he's trying to be a badass, so he comes in like a leather jacket, which we've never seen him in before. He comes in with the leather jacket, he's talking to her, and he's like, I want us to kill Tobias, because he's getting really out of hand. He's walking around like he owns the place. We need to cut him. We need to just cut him off. And Lady Eve's like, no, you know, we gonna cross that bridge when we get to it, but we could kill Toledo, his right-hand man, and, like, knock him back into place. And then she's like, here, do the do and take this with you and leave it with Toledo when you kill him. So Gamby, the badass motherfucker, I don't know what this dude's problem is, he comes in and he kills Toledo. Like, he comes in, guns blazing, he's got, like, it's funny, he makes suits, but he did not make himself a suit. He comes in like a black trench coat, he's got it covering his mouth and his nose and his ears, he's got a hat on, he comes in just pew, 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 shooting at people, and he kills Toledo, and then he leaves the gold bar on his chest. Then later on, when Tobias ends up finding it, like his people, they bring it to him, and he throws it, and he's like, damn that Lady Eve, and it turns out it's got bone dust in it, because she just loves scaring the shit out of him, like, about being turned into bone dust. And that's when he really agrees, like, yeah, we really have to kill her. And he sets it up where his guys come for Lady Eve with these guns that hold voltages of electricity, which makes it look like Black Lightning was the murderer, and he wasn't. And when I look back at how Black Lightning attacked, like, the bad guys, he never mangled them so deeply. Like, even though he hits people with his electricity, he's never actually burned them, which is something that probably isn't that well explained, like, on the TV show, rather than just, like, something that Black Lightning does himself. He totally, like, leaves them completely, like, unaffected in a way. Like, it hurts them internally, but you never really see any burns on the people that he affects. So it kind of flips the switch, and it's like, what does this mean? Because the people who were using it to make it look like it was Black Lightning actually, like, burned Lady Eve and her people, because now Lady Eve has been killed. She was killed right there at her funeral home. And on the TV, we see that it ended up being... So Lady Eve ended up being one of the high members of the community, and everyone really loved her and thought that she was a good person within the community. Like, she wasn't a part of Greenlight, like, she wasn't a part of the gangs, like, she wasn't one of the people who was running the streets. So now it makes it look like Black Lightning is now just a murderer, and he's going after people who have not done anything wrong, and his actions are no longer justified. But in reality, it wasn't him at all, and he's been set up. So now we're left to wonder, how is Black Lightning going to clear his name? The reason I'm talking about all of this now, even though it happened at the end of the episode, is just because, honestly, it's the most important part of this episode. And this is the part that we should be talking about. Because, one, who is the board that Tobias and Lady Eve were both, like, responsible for talking to before they made any big decisions and actions? What does Gamby have to do with all of this, and how is he so close with Lady Eve he can literally just walk into her space in her area and talk to her and not feel that threatened? And how is Jefferson going to deal with the fact that he tried to kill Tobias and it didn't work, and a woman that he doesn't know has just gotten shot and killed? Because now Tobias' sister is dead, and she was shot in the crossfire while she was trying to get her brother out of Black Lightning's reign. So what ended up happening is he went after them. I don't know if he told Gamby or not. Gamby was out here killing other people anyway. So Gamby probably doesn't even know that it happened. He goes ahead and he goes after Tobias. And he shoots him with lightning, and it hits him really hard. You can tell he's coughing and he's really hurt. All of Tobias's people grab him and try to run him out of the area. They're in like a car garage, and they're pulling him out. They're trying to get him to the car, and his sister ends up being shot. And you can tell that his sister is like his world, and they're very close, and that's probably the only black person he genuinely likes. And now she's dead. And it was actually very, like, cinematic the way it happened when she got shot, because he was hurt, but he was still trying to grip onto her, and she was still gripping onto him, and they didn't want to let go of each other, even though Tobias's people were pulling him out of the crossfire. And I thought that was really cinematic and honestly very beautiful. It was a very beautiful shot, because you could tell they didn't want to let go of each other and that they loved each other and they didn't want to be apart, even though they both were hurting and possibly could die. And even though his sister ended up dying, Tobias is still alive and kicking, and now we're going to have to deal with the aftermath of that. Like, how is he going to react to the death of his sister, who seems to be the only person who genuinely loves him and cares about him and isn't afraid of him? Because that's not her boss, that's her brother. And that's his sister. So now it's like, what are we going to do and how is he going to react to all of this? This episode was crazy, man. It was crazy. And it was only crazy within the last, like, 15 minutes. Like, we didn't even really see Jennifer that much in this episode. It was strictly about, those last, like, 15 minutes is just the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight. And it was mind-boggling. It's like you learned so much information within those last 15 minutes. Like, if you didn't see it, like, and you didn't feel the same thing that I felt, we must be on two totally different wavelengths, because it was done so beautifully, and the song that was playing while it all happened was so incredibly haunting. Like, the scene, the way it was shot was so beautiful. Like, Lady Eve and her shootout at her funeral home was insane. The guy came out of the freaking coffin and just shot her with this crazy electricity. I was like, what is happening? Like, what does this mean? Because now Lady Eve is no longer a villain. Like, Lady Eve probably won't be in the show anymore at all, because she's dead, unless we see her in flashbacks. So it's like, now, who's going to be the big bad boss? Because, obviously, Tobias responds to Lady Eve. Like, Lady Eve is above Tobias, but now she's no longer there. So what does that mean? Does Tobias step up and he becomes, like, second in hand to the board? Or are they going to bring someone else in from the top to look over everything that he's doing? Everything that he's doing. I can't speak. I'm so excited. It's like, I have so many unanswered questions, and I love when stuff like this happens, but I also hate it, because I loved Lady Eve. I loved her as a character. Seeing badass women in positions of power is always amazing for me. I'm just like, yes! Like, even though she's a bad guy, I'm like, yes! Like, I'm so excited to see everything that she comes up with, because she's a badass. And it's like, not that you admire her and you want to be like her and you want to, like, kidnap random albinos and turn them into bone dust and, like, kill them all, but it's very cool to see, like, badass women in power. So I just wonder who they're going to bring in now, if they're going to bring in anyone. And now we also have to see how how Jefferson is going to deal with the fact that he did go after Toledo, and he was kind of being blinded by his emotions rather than thinking about it critically and what he should do and what's going to happen now. Because now Tobias is going to be coming back with a vengeance, because now Tobias knows for sure that Black Lightning is back, he's real, he's out there, and he is gunning for Tobias. And now Jefferson also knows that he hasn't aged in 30 years. So we also got to see Tobias when he was fighting with just a random character, and he's working on his strength, and he's punching and he's kicking, and he can take a punch very well. Like, he didn't stutter, he got hit, and he was just like, okay, and? So it also shows us that he's really strong, and he probably, not that he doesn't feel pain, but he has a high pain tolerance, and it takes a lot to hurt him. So that also proves how much electricity that Jefferson hit him with in the first place when they were in the car shop arena place. Anyway, let's get away from all of the really fun stuff that I was just rambling about for probably 10 minutes easily. And let's get into the real stuff. So we see Anissa is dealing with the aftermath of finding out that her father is Black Lightning, and she's actually taking it very well. And one thing I will have to really, like, applaud this show for is that they don't do the usual superhero tropes. Like, you find out your partner, your boyfriend, your dad, your mom is a superhero, and she doesn't get mad. She doesn't get upset. She's not like, why didn't you tell me, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, you're Black Lightning, that's cool, teach me how to be a better superhero. And she is talking to her mom as well, and her mom doesn't really want her to do it, but she also knows who her daughter is. She's like, you are stubborn. And she was talking about how she tried to walk and how she would fall down and she'd cry and then she'd get right back up and try it again and cry again and so on and so forth until she actually learned how to walk. She's like, our daughter is very stubborn, and she goes to Jefferson and she's like, I need you to teach her, because she's going to go out there and do it by herself, or she can go out there and do it with you, and I trust that you will keep our daughter as safe as you can. So I'm also getting more and more respect for Mama Pierce, because she's been taking so many hits with such grace. Like, even in this episode, they were dealing with the aftermath that these people had come and attacked her, and we're wondering, like, does it have to do with Black Lightning? Does it have to do with Grandfather Lightning? Does it have to do with just her work in general? We don't know why she was necessarily attacked. And now she's, like, in hiding for a weekend, and she's trying to, like, figure out what to do, and she's just dealing with the fact that her ex-husband and the father of her children is out there trying to save the world and putting himself in danger, but now her daughter as well. So for her, it's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to keep this going? How can I keep my child alive? How can I keep the father of my children alive? There's so much going on through her head, and she actually makes a very adult decision. Instead of just, like, banning her daughter from ever going out there and doing it again, she talks to her, they have a conversation, and they realize that her daughter is very crazy and she's going to do whatever she wants. So she's like, at least I can have her father out there with her, teaching her and making her the best superhero that she can be. So hopefully I never have to worry that she's not going to come home, even though I'm going to worry anyway because I'm her mom, just like how she worried with Jefferson. And I have so much respect for her. It's like I've lost respect for Gamby, and all of the respect that I had for Gamby is now going on to Lynn. So it's a very quick switch. And this show is crazy. Like, you guys, I don't think you guys, like, a lot of people never understand how much I like TV, because I sit and I decipher and I learn and I try to, like, figure it out before the next episode happens. Like, I don't actually just sit and watch TV. Like, I sit and I think about it and I try to figure it out, and I don't know if that's the writer in me, the creator in me, or just, like, the childness in me, because stuff like that is so fun to me, like trying to sit here and figure it out. And it's like, sometimes I feel like I forget, like, the reason why I make these videos in the first place. I make videos like this to talk about TV, and I know, like, I, like, beat my face and I do this and I do that and I try to look cute for the camera, but, like, that's not what this is about. This is not what my channel is about. It's simply about trying to talk about TV, and to have TV shows like this, to have episodes like this where I am sitting up awake at night just thinking about the episode and what it means and, like, what's going to happen next is so fun and exciting for me. So I have to thank the writers and the actors and everyone who puts Black Lightning together, because it just made my night. Like, I have to go to work tomorrow and I'm, like, still awake talking about it. And that doesn't happen a lot anymore. Like, there's not a lot of good TV out there anymore. So to have a show like this, it's just very fun and exciting for me. So I hope you guys are enjoying my videos, and I hope you guys aren't sick of me yet. Man, this episode was crazy. And I feel like I'm forgetting to talk about something. And if I am forgetting to talk about something, or if I'm missing your favorite part of the episode, please leave a comment down below and tell me about your favorite part of the episode, and we can talk about it right here in the comments. Don't be shy. I am so willing and so happy to talk about the show with you guys. And don't forget to check out my Black Lightning twin, HB Gibson. He makes reviews as well, but his are a lot shorter than mine, and they have a lot more special effects and music, and they're so cool, and I'm so jealous because I really wish that I could be as good as editing as him. Make sure you check out HB Gibson if you need another Black Lightning fix. I will see you guys next week, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!